Speaking of bugging, some people think that Tank Dell, nice young receiver, real promising, for the Houston Texans, is bugging. Because on an appearance, Rob, recently on I Am Athlete, he said this about his outstanding young quarterback.
He brings a special type of swag to when he come into play, so you can see it in him. Yeah, I for sure feel like CJ got the opportunity to be the best quarterback in the league. Not me just saying it because who he is to me, but just like what I'm seeing him do each and every week, like what the world see. They seeing exactly what we seeing, man. How he just coming out there and as a 21-year-old man, he going against, grown man, and he out there just balling every week. It's like how consistent he is. All that just play a factor. I feel like CJ got to just keep doing what he's doing to bridge the gap between him and Mahomes, man.
All right, look. CJ Stroud is great. We'll see. He's got to do it again this year. I liked him, that, Rob, coming out of Ohio State. I thought he should have been the number one pick. And he can be absolutely great. And Tank Dell's his teammate, too, so obviously you should say something like that. But I'm going to say this. I think the best quarterback in the league, I think it's off the table for the next 7-8 years. Like it's Patrick Mahomes. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible for somebody to eclipse him, but Rob, I think what it will take to eclipse Patrick Mahomes as the best quarterback in the league in, the next 7 years or so, however long Mahomes' prime lasts, is you're going to have to win big like him. He's obviously put up great numbers. You have to win big like him and put up great numbers. Now, I do think CJ Stroud can win an MVP, if not more than one. We know Lamar Jackson's won too. I do think that CJ Stroud can have a better individual season here or there than Patrick Mahomes. Some might argue he had a better season last year. Brock Purdy may have had a better regular season last year. Guys will have better regular seasons. Tom Brady, the GOAT in most people's estimation, was only first team All-Pro 3 times in his career. That means he was viewed as the best quarterback only 3 times, even as he was viewed as the GOAT by many. But Patrick Mahomes, Rob, to me, he's won at such a rate, and obviously individually he's been great as well, that I don't think it's even up for debate for the next several years unless Houston, powered by CJ Stroud, becomes what Kansas City's become. And starting now. Because Mahomes started MVP his first year as a starter, and then a Super Bowl is next year. That's how fast it has to start happening. And if CJ can do that, then great. But I don't see that happening. So props to Tank, props to CJ, but I just think the best player in the world is off the table right now.
Yeah, I don't think that it is. I think that the CJ is too soon for me. Okay, I just can't get with that off of 1 year. This year will be important to me to just see how year number 2 goes, but the Patrick Mahomes thing is definitely can change very quickly by a bad year or by somebody else having a better year. Even when Mahomes won, if we could go back and everybody thought, oh my God, this guy's going to win the MVP every year and look at his numbers and blah, 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 and he won a Super Bowl. Lamar came in and was unanimous as an MVP. We're talking about during the Mahomes era. Then the next 2 years, an older Aaron Rodgers who people had written off and said, he can't play anymore. He's broken down, came back and won back-to-back MVPs during the Mahomes era. So you could say, Chris, who might be regarded, but it doesn't mean that he's the best quarterback or he's the most accomplished quarterback. But easily, Lamar coming off of the second MVP where he almost was unanimous for a second straight. What did he lose it by? He missed 1 vote and 2 MVP votes. And Chris, obviously we're talking hypothetical.
Right.
But what happens if the Ravens finally get it together and win next year? Lamar is that guy, and he finally wins and gets there. Then you start to go, wow, Lamar won again, another MVP.
Again?
No, I'm talking about MVP. And he finally won a Super Bowl.
That's a heck of a hypothetical.
Yeah, but I got to give you, like, it's on the table. It doesn't mean that it can't happen. That's all I'm saying.
But if Lamar were to win the Super Bowl next year, that means he's better than Patrick Mahomes?
It just depends on what happens. I'm just saying, people, it fluctuates. You might say Mahomes is the most accomplished now playing, but that doesn't mean every year he's the best quarterback.
Well,
Chris,
no, I agree that every year.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, this is my point, because Mahomes did not have the best season of any quarterback last year, of course. But I think he is, come playoff time, he was the best. And he does that repeatedly. He is 15-3 in the playoffs. That's ridiculous. He's played, 6 seasons as a starter? And he's 5 seasons as a start. No, 6, I'm sorry. And he's 15-3. He's one playoff victory behind Joe Montana, who's in second place. And obviously Tom Brady is way ahead. He's got 35. But Mahomes' playoff record, like the win percentage, is just way, way, way out in front of everybody else. So I would ask you, so I agree, and I said that in my open, Rob. I think CJ, heck, maybe this year could win MVP. Or someone else, another quarterback outside of Mahomes could win MVP. But that doesn't mean they're better than Mahomes. I don't think Lamar winning MVP last year, to me, the thought never crossed my mind that he's better than Mahomes. And even had he beat him in the playoffs, I mean, Mahomes has won 3 Super Bowls in 6 years as a starter.
Yeah, but
that's like outlandish.
I think,
and he's been great individually too.
But sometimes I think you're clouded by the Super Bowls, and what I mean by that is when you look at his numbers, Chris, last year, Mahomes had the second fewest passing yards in his career, second fewest touchdown passes, the most interceptions, and the most turnovers in his career. The Mahomes and the Chiefs offense had their lowest scoring output, and they went 2 months without winning back-to-back games. And in the Super Bowl, 7 touchdowns, 5 picks, a passer rating of 85.2 with 10 sacks. So I get when you win, you don't look at any of that other stuff. It's just like, well, he won. That's all that matters. And I'm not saying that doesn't count. But last year there was a lot to not like about the offense. How in the world did
How much of that was on him?
No, but he played.
Just asking.
Part of it. It's not all on him.
Because we know he had the worst receiving, I'll say the worst receiving core in the league. They led the league in drops.
But we don't always do. We always do that when we go and I give you the Aaron Rodgers defense of the Packers.
Yeah, because I can show you where Rodgers' numbers didn't stack up.
Yeah, but I could also show you where they give up 40 points and then you have to throw every down to catch it up there.
No, but they fell behind. I mean, I don't want to make it an Aaron Rodgers conversation, but they fell way behind.
He lost 3.
Well, let me finish. They fell way behind while Rodgers was not scoring. Then the team would get a big lead, go into prevent, and he starts scoring to pad his stats. That's what's happened in most of his NFC title games. He had 3 or 4 playoff games where he didn't even get the ball. They lost because, that was the sudden death. Where he didn't even touch the football. Even Rob, okay, then let's take away the NFC champ. Let's take away the NFC title game that he did win. Yeah, because he didn't play well. 1 touchdown, 2 picks.
But my point is,
I'm just saying.
But my point is that there's a lot not to like. The last
about Mahomes?
Yes, during the regular
Tell me
season.
What don't you like about Mahomes?
The offense was awful. He missed he had a lot of turnovers, Chris.
14 picks. That's a lot of guys
for
have
him.
14 picks.
He normally has 5.
Not for him.
No, he's one of the great quarterbacks. And here's the other thing that makes no sense to me. You're so high on him, but the last 2 Super Bowls, you didn't even pick him. I don't even understand that. He's so great, but you didn't pick him.
I'll tell you why.
He's so great, but you didn't pick him 2 years in a row.
I'll tell you why.
I don't get
because even though I think he's great, doesn't mean I think he's going to win every year. I mean, seriously. And he's proving me wrong. But, I mean, that's ridiculous. Tom Brady won 7 times in I don't know how many years, 20-something years, and he's regarded as the best quarterback ever. So that's a third of his time he won. So you can't say just because you think somebody's the best, you're going to pick them to win the Super Bowl every year. Who do you think is the best quarterback in the league?
Right now?
Yeah. Just the best quarterback in the league right
Lamar.
now. Oh, gosh. 2-4 in the playoffs.
You didn't ask me about a playoff record.
No,
you asked
but
me
that
about
counts.
the best quarterback.
That counts.
Lamar.
You're crazy.
Lamar's had
I love
2
Lamar.
MVPs.
He ain't better than so does Patrick Mahomes.
2 MVPs
And
he
3
was
Super Bowls.
almost unanimous twice. I mean,
You
that's
talking
unbelievable.
about that don't matter what you're doing in the playoffs.
It don't matter to you.
It don't matter to anybody.
To you.
Get it done in the playoffs.
No, it doesn't matter to you.
Rob Parker, when
It doesn't matter
sports
to
has
you.
the short menu.
It doesn't matter to
Wins
you.
and losses. I'm crying foul on Rob Parker.
you're not.
Hypocrisy.
There's no hypocrisy.
There's a short menu. Wins and losses.
Did you watch
except
Mahomes?
in the playoffs? That don't count. I watched Lamar in the playoffs.
Did you watch Lamar?
I watched Lamar in the
against
playoffs.
the 49ers on Christmas night?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my
Christmas
God.
night.
That wasn't Lamar in the playoff game.
Yeah,
that wasn't
was
Lamar.
nice. Oh, okay.
They made him throw the ball every down. You can't win like that. That's not who he is.
Tank Dell says his quarterback, CJ Stroud, can be the best in the league. I say the best in the league ain't open right now. You could be the best of the rest. But right now, Patrick Mahomes got that on lock. Rob says, no, it's open, and it's Lamar. Your thoughts? 877-99 on Fox.
Mike, in Augusta, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mike?
What's up, gentlemen?
How are you?
What up?
I'm good, man. I'm going to agree with Rob, man. I like Lamar Jackson as the best quarterback in the league for a couple of reasons. Teams are absolutely terrified to play Lamar Jackson. And that playoff loss, that was not him. That was a horrible game plan.
Yep.
They threw the ball when they shouldn't have been throwing the ball. They got there by running the ball. And when they got there, they didn't dance with who brought them there. That was a
Did he
terrible...
have the opportunity where there? You've heard this. You listen to the show, so you know I've agreed with the game plan being horrible.
They ran the ball 6 times in that game.
Some of that was on
6
Lamar.
times.
Some of that was on Lamar. He had chances to run, and he didn't. In fact, there was the best run he had when he broke like a 21-yarder. Instead of trying to run away from the defender, he looked back for like 5 yards. He was looking back instead of trying to tear away from him. I think that's why he lost some weight this year in the offseason, so he can get back to doing what he did with the breakaway runs. But anyway, what about the playoff performances? He's got 6 picks and 6 touchdowns in 6 playoff games. He's 2-4 in the playoffs. That doesn't count?
It counts, but he's still Lamar Jackson, and he still is having to deal with whatever the game plan is. But also, I want to say, if those 2 players switch teams, would he be just as good? Would he have the championships if he had Andy Reid and the Chiefs offense and Mahomes was with Baltimore? If they switch teams, which team would fall off the most?
I mean, like I said, I think Mahomes will carry his team. Last year, Mahomes carried a team with a horrible receiving core to the Super Bowl. A young defense, which is going to just keep getting better. So I think Mahomes. But, you know, it's hard to say. I mean, I think Lamar would excel with Andy Reid. Almost every quarterback has.
Sean in Oregon, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Sean?
Hey, I don't know who their best quarterback is, but I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes ain't the best quarterback. You know, I think he plays for one of the best teams, the best coaches. And I look back in the past, and when has the best quarterback been the Super Bowl winner? I remember back when Brady won these Super Bowls, he was hardly ever the best quarterback of the year that year.
Nope.
You mean in the
great
first,
defense.
In the first 3? Yes. What about the last ones?
The last one, he had 1 touchdown. He had no touchdowns
Well,
in the pick.
We're not talking about so much in the game, I don't think. I think we're talking about those seasons.
Yeah, well, these guys that have these great seasons, you know who I like? I like guys like Tua. I like guys like that guy that plays
Tua, who was 1-6 last year against playoff teams. That Tua.
Yeah, well,
Tua, who is
he's a good
0-6 when the weather gets a tad brisk,
He's a great
45 or below. That Tua.
I hope everyone had a great weekend. A great Independence Day weekend. We got the Blues Fest going on in here, Portland.
Nice.
All right, enjoy that.
Yes, enjoy
Yes.
it. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Let's go to Marco in North Carolina. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marco?
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing? The best show on the radio.
Thank you,
Thank
buddy.
you,
How are
brother.
you?
Thank you.
The only answer to this question is Patrick Mahomes.
Thank you. Finally, somebody making sense.
The best quarterback in the league. He had his worst wide receiver core of the season. Nobody picked him to win against Buffalo. In Buffalo, this was the only year to get Patrick Mahomes. And now they just drafted a speedy wide receiver to take over for Tyreek Hill. There's no other quarterback in the league that is even on his level. It's like Michael Jordan in the NBA. There's nobody else on that level. That's where Patrick Mahomes is at right now.
I'm with you.